If you are listening to this message, then God has brought you here for a reason. You are about to experience a divine acceleration, a shift so powerful that what once took years will now take only months, what once took months will now take only days, and what once took days will happen in mere moments. This is not business as usual. This is not just another season. This is supernatural movement. For so long, you have been walking. Step by step. Slow progress. Delays. Waiting. You have been faithful. You have been patient. You have endured the process. But now the time has come for you to run. God has issued a divine command. It is time to move at the speed of heaven. The doors that were once shut will now swing wide open. The prayers that seemed delayed will suddenly be answered. The chains that held you back will be broken in an instant. But hear me when I say this acceleration is not coming from your own strength. It is not about how hard you have worked. It is not about how much effort you have put in. This shift is coming directly from the throne of heaven. God Himself is stepping into your situation. And when God steps in, everything changes. The same God who took Joseph from the prison to the palace in a single day is about to move in your life. The same God who made Elijah outrun a king's chariot is about to release divine speed upon you. The same God who turned the Red Sea into a highway is about to make a way where there was no way. What took others a lifetime will take you a moment. Not because of who you are, but because of who God is. So now, chosen one, I ask you, are you ready to step into this acceleration? Are you ready to receive what God has already set in motion? Are you prepared to move at a speed that will shock even those around you? Then declare it right now. Hit the like button, subscribe to Bible Peak, and comment below, I am ready at full speed. This is your public declaration that you are stepping into the divine speed God has ordained for you. Do not hesitate. Do not delay. Type it now. Because what God is about to do in your life will happen so fast that you won't even have time to catch your breath. You have been walking for so long. Walking through challenges. Walking through disappointments. Walking through delays. You have felt like every step forward came with resistance. Like no matter how hard you pushed, you could only move inch by inch. But now, the pace is changing. God is shifting you into a new season where you will move faster than you ever thought possible. Look at what happened to Elijah in 1 Kings 18 verse 46. The Bible says, "The hand of the Lord came upon Elijah. And he girded up his loins and ran ahead of Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel." Let me break this down for you. King Ahab was riding in a chariot pulled by horses, the fastest mode of transportation in those days. And yet, Elijah outran him on foot. How? Because when God's hand is upon you, no one can outrun you. Let me say that again, when God's hand is upon you, no one can outrun you. People may think they have a head start. They may think they have more resources. They may think they have more connections. But when God shifts you, you will surpass them all. This is what's about to happen in your life. Those who once looked down on you, those who thought you were moving too slowly, are about to watch in shock as you overtake them. They thought they had time to stop you. They thought they had time to sabotage you. They thought they had time to mock you. But they do not know that God has already released acceleration over your life. And now, it's your time to run. You may be asking, why now? Why is God moving me so fast all of a sudden? Because the season of preparation is over. For years, God has been preparing you. He has been refining you, shaping you, strengthening you. He did not allow you to run before because he was building your endurance. Listen closely, speed without strength is dangerous. If God had accelerated you before you were ready, you would have collapsed under the pressure. If he had pushed you forward before your foundation was strong, you would have crumbled. If he had let you move at full speed before you were spiritually mature, you would have lost yourself in the success. But now, you are ready. And when God says run, you must run. This is not the time to hesitate. This is not the time to question. This is not the time to wait for another confirmation. God has already confirmed it. He has already set things in motion. All that is left for you to do is move. In the next part of this message, we will go even deeper. We will talk about why those who doubted you will be left in shock and how to step into this acceleration with full confidence. But for now, let me ask you one last time, are you ready? If your answer is yes, then take action right now. Subscribe to Bible Peak because this is just the beginning. Type in the comments, I am ready at full speed. Because God is watching. Heaven is listening. And your obedience in this moment is a sign that you are ready to move. Chosen ones, get ready. Because from this moment forward, you will never walk the same again. You will never move the same again. You will never live the same again. The acceleration has begun. For years, you have waited, you have prayed, you have believed, you have endured. You have watched as others seemed to move forward effortlessly, while your progress felt slow, almost stagnant. At times, you questioned, God, why is everything taking so long? But listen carefully, delay does not mean denial. Waiting does not mean forgotten. God is not punishing you. He has been preparing you. Many times, we think we are ready before we actually are. We see the vision. We feel the calling. We sense the urgency. But God sees the whole picture. He sees the weight of the blessing. He sees the challenges that come with elevation. And most importantly, He knows when you are truly ready. Because speed without preparation is destruction. If a runner takes off before their muscles are conditioned, they will collapse before they reach the finish line. If an architect rushes to build before the foundation is solid, the entire structure will fall apart. If a seed is forced to sprout before its roots have taken hold, it will wither under the sun. And if God had accelerated you before you were spiritually strong enough, you would have crumbled under the pressure of your own success. This is why He had you wait, not to hold you back, but to build you up, to develop your endurance, to make sure that when the time came, you wouldn't just taste success, you would sustain it. And now, that time has arrived. The waiting season is over. The foundation is strong. God has issued the command, run. And when God says run, there is no hesitation. When God shifts your pace, there is no slowing down. When God accelerates you, nothing can stop you. This is your moment. The divine clock has struck. The appointed time is now. And every delay that once frustrated you, every no that once discouraged you, every season of silence that made you wonder if God had forgotten about you, it all makes sense now. Because what took others a lifetime to build, you are about to accomplish in a fraction of the time. What others struggled for, God is about to place directly in your hands. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because He is the one who decided it is your time. There were people who didn't believe in you. They thought you were dreaming too big. They thought you were wasting your time. They saw you struggling, waiting, believing, and they assumed you would always be behind them. But they don't know the God you serve. They don't know that when God accelerates someone, no human expectation can contain them. They don't know that the last shall be first, that the ones who were overlooked will be the ones who take the lead. And now, your moment of acceleration is here. Those who once doubted you will be left in silence, not because you need to prove anything to them, not because you need their approval, but because God's work in your life will be undeniable. You will not have to explain yourself. You will not have to convince anyone. The results will speak for themselves, just like Joseph, who was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and locked away in prison. Yet in one single day, God elevated him to second in command over all of Egypt, just like David, who was ignored when Samuel came to anoint a king, left in the fields with the sheep. But when God called him forward, no one could stop his rise to the throne, just like Esther, a simple Jewish girl in a foreign land. Yet in God's perfect timing, she was positioned to become queen and save an entire nation. Your story is about to be rewritten in the same way. Because when God's hand is on your life, no human rejection can cancel your destiny. They thought you would always be behind them, but now, they will watch in shock as you overtake them. The very ones who looked down on you, the very ones who mocked your patience, the very ones who thought they had more than you, will now wonder how you got so far ahead. Because when God moves, He doesn't just push you forward, He positions you ahead. He doesn't just open a door, He opens the right door at the right time. And He doesn't just bless you, He blesses you in such a way that no one can deny His power. Some will be in awe. Some will finally understand that what you believed in all along was real. But others will struggle to accept it, because your success will challenge everything they thought they knew. They saw themselves as ahead of you, but now, they can't explain how you got here so fast. And when people can't explain something, they will either admire it or resent it. Some will be inspired, but some will be uncomfortable, not because you did anything wrong, but because your acceleration will expose their stagnation. And this is where you must be wise. This is where you must stay humble, yet focused. Not everyone will celebrate with you. Not everyone will be happy about what God is doing in your life, and that is okay, because your success is not about them. Your breakthrough is not about proving them wrong. Your acceleration is not about competing with anyone. This is about God's divine purpose being fulfilled in you. And when He shifts you forward, your only job is to keep moving, not looking back, not slowing down to explain yourself, not stopping to convince anyone, because this is not your doing. This is not your decision. This is God's hand upon your life. And when He moves, the only right response is to go with Him, because you were never meant to stay behind. You were meant to rise. Everything in your life has been leading to this moment. Every trial, every delay, every closed door, every long night wondering when things would finally shift. And now, the acceleration is happening. But here's what you must understand. God's timing is always perfect. He is never late. He is never early. He moves in divine precision, orchestrating events in ways that no human mind could ever plan. And when you step into alignment with His timing, things begin to fall into place effortlessly. You won't have to struggle for opportunities. You won't have to chase after connections. You won't have to beg for resources, because when it is your time, everything will come to you. The right doors will open. The right people will appear. The right opportunities will find you before you even have time to search for them. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is divine alignment. Look at what happened to Joseph. For years, he was a slave, then a prisoner, forgotten by men. But when the time was right, in a single day, he was promoted to the highest position in Egypt. Did he campaign for it? No. Did he force it to happen? No, it happened because the timing was right, because God had already positioned him for the opportunity before he even knew it existed. And the same is happening in your life. What once felt delayed is now happening at an accelerated speed. The things that used to be difficult are now coming with ease, because you are finally in sync with God's divine schedule. Now that acceleration has begun. Your role is to remain in position. This means trusting the flow. Do not force things. Do not panic. If God is moving quickly, trust that He has already cleared the path, staying in prayer. Do not lose your spiritual focus just because things are happening fast. Keep your connection with God strong, being prepared. When doors open, be ready to walk through them. Do not hesitate. Do not question. Move, because the only thing that can slow you down now is hesitation. The biggest mistake you can make in this season is resisting what God is doing. Some people pray for breakthrough, but when it finally arrives, they hesitate, they overthink, they question, they let fear talk them out of it. And because of that, they miss the window of acceleration. Understand this, God's timing is not open-ended. When He says move, you must move, because if you try to keep walking when God says run, you will feel like everything is slipping away. The doors will open, but you will be too slow to walk through them. The opportunities will come, but you will hesitate too long to grab them. The acceleration will happen, but you will miss it because you refuse to shift at God's speed. This is your moment. If you do not take hold of it now, you may never get this chance again. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of stepping into something unfamiliar. Some people get so comfortable in the struggle that when freedom finally comes, they don't know how to receive it. They are used to waiting, so they don't know how to move quickly. They are used to fighting, so they don't know how to flow in ease. They are used to lack, so they don't know how to operate in abundance. But listen to me, you were not created to struggle forever. You were not meant to stay in a place of delay. You were meant to move at the speed of God, and that means trusting Him enough to keep up with Him. When He says run, do not let fear keep you stuck. When He accelerates you, do not let doubt slow you down. When He opens doors, do not question whether you are ready, because God does not open doors for people who are unprepared. If the door is open, it means you are already ready. If the opportunity has come, it means you have already been positioned. If the shift is happening, it means God has already cleared the way. The only thing left is for you to move. Another reason people resist the shift is because they are too focused on the past. They keep looking back at old mistakes, back at past failures, back at the people who doubted them. But hear me when I say this, you cannot run forward if you keep looking behind you. Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. The Israelites longed for Egypt, and they died in the wilderness. Judas hesitated, and he missed his opportunity for redemption. Looking back will cost you everything, but moving forward will take you into your destiny. There is no more time to delay. There is no more time to question. The acceleration has begun, and the only question is, will you move with it? Because listen carefully, if you refuse to move, someone else will take your place. Someone else will step into the opportunities that were meant for you. Someone else will receive the breakthroughs you were supposed to have. Someone else will take hold of the blessings that were prepared for you, not because they were better, not because they were more talented, but because they moved when God said move. Destiny does not wait for hesitation. And this shift is happening with or without you. The only thing left to decide is whether you will be part of it, because if you do not step into it now, you may never get this moment again. When God says run, do not hesitate, do not second guess, do not overthink, do not wait for another sign, because this is the sign, this is the moment that your spirit has been sensing. Everything in your life has been leading to this shift. The waiting season is over, the preparation is complete, and now, God is calling you to step into acceleration with unwavering faith. This is not the time to be cautious. This is not the time to question whether you are capable. This is the time to trust that if God has said run, He has already cleared the way. If He has opened the door, He has already prepared the path. If He has commanded the shift, He has already positioned you for success. Your only job is to obey. Fear will try to stop you. Fear will whisper, what if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if this is too much for me? But faith must answer back, if God called me, He will sustain me. If God opened the door, I will walk through it. If God is accelerating me, I will move at His speed. Because here's the truth, fear is a liar. Fear is the last trick of the enemy to keep you from stepping into everything God has for you, but you have already come too far to stop now. God did not bring you through the fire just to leave you here. He did not refine you through trials just to watch you hesitate. He did not strengthen your spirit just so you could play it safe. He prepared you for such a time as this. So now, you have a choice. Will you listen to fear, or will you run with faith? When you move at God's speed, nothing can block your path. The obstacles that once stood in your way will be removed. The resistance that once slowed you down will disappear. The people who once doubted you will be left in shock, because this is not natural acceleration, this is supernatural movement, and no force in hell can stop what God has already put in motion. All the delays, all the struggles, all the battles, it was all leading to this moment, and now, the door is open, the way is clear, the opportunity is here. Will you run, chosen one? Hear this, your life will never be the same again. You are stepping into a new dimension of faith, favor, and fulfillment. What took others years to achieve, you will accomplish in months. What once seemed impossible, God will make possible. Not because of your own strength, not because of your own effort, but because you chose to trust the speed of God. You chose to move when He said move. You chose to run when He said run. And because of that, your breakthrough is here. This is not a time for hesitation. This is not a time for doubt. This is a moment of destiny. God has opened the path. He has removed the barriers. He has called you forward. The only question left is, will you run?